The Young and the Restless preview for the week of March 17 reveals Tracy Abbott will find herself in grave danger. Also coming up, Sharon Newman will put Nick Newman on the spot. Plus, Summer Newman will worry about Phyllis Summers, and Damian Kane will be concerned about Amy Lewis. We and our spoilers tease Damian will arrive at Nate Hastings' place. Nate will ask him what's going on. You tell me, is it true? He asks his half-brother in the Y and R weekly preview. Has my mom been admitted to a hospital in Chicago? Y and R preview. Sharon asks if he thinks about them reuniting. Meanwhile, Sharon will open up to her ex-husband, and she'll have a question for him. Nick, I want you to be honest with me about your feelings, she'll say to him. Do you ever think about us getting back together? But how will Nick respond? At the GCAC, Phyllis will tell Summer all about her kidnapping ordeal. So the kidnapper wanted you to be found, Summer will say to her mother. Yeah, Phyllis will reply. She'll add that whoever did it is a total whack job. Summer will be highly concerned because the person still hasn't been caught yet. That means that you're still in danger, she'll tell her mother. Young and the Restless preview. Alan asks Tracy what she's doing. Finally, Alan Laurent will walk out of the washroom into the main area of he and Tracy's suite. On Friday's Vi and R, Tracy will pick up Alan's phone when she hears another notification, and she'll see an alert about a security breach at the clinic. You know, I say we do the town. Go big, Alan will tell his fiancée. I want to show the woman I love, but then he'll spot his phone in Tracy's hand. What are you doing? Alan will ask her menacingly, but would he harm Tracy? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers preview video for the week of March 17 to 21 reveals that Sharon Newman will force Nick Newman's reunion confession while Summer Newman panics over more danger. I and R's weekly preview video kicks off with Damian Kane stopping by Nate Hastings' apartment with concerns about Amy Lewis. Damian will ask if it's true that his mom's been admitted to a hospital in Chicago, but this may actually be good news. Amy went there for some tests, but her new doctor may have suggested getting the ball rolling on a special treatment right away. Next, let's talk about the truthful conversation that's coming up for Nick and Sharon. Considering how much Sharon's been through these last few months, she won't want to dance around an important subject any longer. Sharon will push Nick to be honest about his feelings and will ask if he ever thinks about them getting back together. It's obvious that Sharon thinks about their reunion, so she'll wonder if Nick feels the same way. No matter what Nick's answer is, Sharon will insist on getting everything out in the open. At least this way, Sharon will know what's in Nick's heart and can proceed from there. Over with Summer, she'll catch up with Phyllis Summers following all the kidnapping chaos. Summer will be relieved to know Phyllis is alive and well, but she'll be alarmed over the captor still being out there. It'll leave Summer making some troubling predictions about the sicko's next move. Phyllis will admit whoever did this is a total whack job, so Summer will panic since this person hasn't been caught yet. And that means Phyllis is still in danger. In a suite at the athletic club, Alan Laurent, aka Martin Laurent, will come strolling out of the bathroom. Alan will want to take Tracy Abbott out on the town and show the woman he loves a good time, but he's about to make a startling discovery. I and R's weekly promo shows Alan finding Tracy with his phone in her hands and asking what she's doing. Tracy will likely confront Alan over the strange clinic messages, so he may try to explain them away. However, Tracy could land in a life-threatening situation if she starts putting too much of the puzzle together. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Martin's about to go off the rails, so stay tuned for updates on all the wild moments to come. The Young and the Restless scoop for Friday, March 14, reveals Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers will be rescued. Also coming up, Nick Newman, Billy Abbott, and Chance Chancellor will take action. Plus, Tracy Abbott will be concerned. My and our spoilers tease Nick and Billy will rush to the clinic. Billy will ask what the plan is once they get there. Nick will say Chance won't like it, but too bad. But he doesn't get it. Why would some psycho kidnap Phyllis and Sharon? They'll arrive at the Havenhurst facility and Chance will ask what they're doing there. I and our daily scoop. Chance says they're following police procedure. Nick will tell him they're not leaving, and Billy will ask why they're just standing there and haven't busted the door down yet. Chance will say they're waiting for a search warrant and the landlord to arrive. This whole thing could be a diversion or a trap, he'll tell them. We're going to follow police procedure. Then he'll get a message the search warrant has been approved. The landlord will show up and he'll say the place has been out of business for years. He'll try to open the door, but the key won't work. He'll tell them someone must have changed the locks. Eventually, Chance will get them inside the facility. Meanwhile, Sharon will suggest they just look for the camera out in the open to lure their captor. Phyllis will say they should take it one step further. Let's trash the place. So Sharon will sweep everything off the coffee table. What are you waiting for? She'll ask Phyllis. The two ladies will proceed to trash the room as they yell at Ian Ward, and Jordan. Sharon will then say she's sorry for what she put Phyllis and her family through. But Phyllis will say she doesn't have to do that. They'll talk about everything they have to live for. Phyllis will talk about her kids and Sharon will bring up her own kids. She'll also mention Nick, and Phyllis will grin at her. The ladies will finally find the hidden camera. Sharon will make a joke and Phyllis will tell her she's funny. So, what happens now? Sharon will ask. Phyllis will say the voice can't see them and will be very upset. We should expect a visit. They'll decide to find things to protect themselves for when their captor shows up. Then a notification will show up on one of the burner phones. Not very sportsmanlike, ladies, you lose. Sharon will say that's not a riddle, it's a death sentence. We are badasses, Phyllis will reply. Everything we've done in our lives, we've done to survive. Then she'll take Sharon's hand. We got this, she'll say. They'll hear a hissing sound, and the jazz music will start playing again. Young and the Restless scoop. Tracy hears another notification go off. Oh God, it's gas, Phyllis will tell Sharon. They'll find the source and try to plug it. Then the door handle will jiggle and Sharon will stand beside the door, holding up a thermos, her makeshift weapon. Sharon will hear Nick outside and shout that they're inside. Chance will tell them to stand back. He's going to shoot out the lock. But Sharon will say there's a gas leak. It'll cause an explosion. So Nick will kick the door in. He'll rush to Sharon's side, and Billy will rush to Phyllis, and they'll tell them everything's going to be okay. Nick and Billy will bring them back to the ranch. Chance will say whoever did this covered his tracks. They'll question Sharon and Phyllis, and they'll admit they have no idea who did this to them. They'll talk about the tests they were put through and how the captor knew a lot about them. Phyllis will say for a second she thought it was Nick. Billy will ask about the riddles. It eventually led to us having to save each other's lives, Sharon will tell him. Phyllis will say they were like rats in a maze, being watched for somebody's entertainment. Billy will tell her they sent him a riddle as well, which is how they found them. Chance will say they should get some rest, it's over now. But Phyllis will say it isn't over. Whoever that is, they're still out there. We have to find them before they strike again. Finally, Tracy will pour herself some more champagne. She'll hear another notification go off on Alan Lawrence's phone. So she'll pick it up and will be puzzled by the message she sees. Security breach at clinic. Precautions enacted. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, March 14, implies some major moments in the land of Geno City. Two hostages fight for their lives, while someone gets a major lead, and two heroes swoop in for the save. Time to dive in and see what kind of drama will unfold during Friday's show. Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman fight to stay alive. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, March 14 suggests that Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman will fight to stay alive. Fans were shocked to find out during the Wednesday, March 12 episode that Alan Laurent, or possibly his evil twin Martin Laurent, was keeping the ladies hostage. Heck, maybe there is an unhinged triplet in this equation no one knows about. With that said, the ladies may upset their captor. After all, they decided to try and get rid of the camera he was using to spy on them. Alan/Martin may not like the idea of his game being reversed on him. What will he do to further torment the ladies? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Chance Chancellor gets a big lead. Across town, it sounds like for once, the GCP may finally solve a case. Chance Chancellor will share a major lead that could help locate Phyllis and Sharon. Still, from the looks of the Thursday, March 13 show, Billy Abbott and Nick Newman were putting 2 and 2 together. Nick Newman and Billy Abbott's big save. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, March 14 imply this storyline will hit its climax. As Nick and Billy were on their way to the Havenhurst Psychiatric Clinic on Thursday, with Chance not too far behind, the two men may swoop in for the save, just in time. But will they find out Alan/Martin is behind all this? What storyline are you excited to see on Friday? Share your thoughts below. Watch the CBS Soap Daily to catch all the drama in GC, and visit SOS often for the most up-to-date Young and the Restless news and spoilers. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Claire Newman and Holden Novak might be gearing up for a forbidden kiss. Will Kyle find himself stunned over a betrayal? Holden recently flirted with Claire over drinks and did a little bonding with her as they sat at the bar together. Kyle wasn't pleased at the sight of Claire with another man, especially once Summer Newman pointed out that it looked like Claire had a new friend. It was obvious that Summer was trying to stir up some insecurities for Kyle and cause more trouble in his relationship. Of course, there's no guarantee that Claire and Holden's bond will go any further, but we should consider the possibility that they'll form a real friendship. Holden and Claire might start spending more time together, so that could lead to problems in her current romance. If Kyle was that jealous over a simple interaction at the bar, he may fume over Claire and Holden truly getting close. That's especially true since Holden seems like the kind of guy to push boundaries based on Audra Charles' stories about him. At some point, Holden could easily plant a kiss that Claire doesn't see coming. Claire might even kiss back if it happens after an argument with Kyle, and she ends up needing some comfort. On the other hand, it's possible Y and R fans will see a lip lock that's entirely Holden's doing. Holden might misread the situation and get pushed away once he surprises Claire with a smooch. Regardless, Kyle might feel betrayed if he gets updates on Claire's lips being on another man. Claire might explain things in the aftermath, but there's definitely the potential for some relationship drama if a Holden and Claire kiss happens. Summer could try to get inside Kyle's head with some predictions about Claire and Holden's future together. There will be more chances for Summer to make waves, so stay tuned for any bad news she might deliver. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Kyle and Claire will face more tests as a couple, but will they pass them? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Martin Laurent aka Alan Laurent may kidnap Tracy Abbott next. Martin may refuse to let his romantic bubble burst, so let's talk about how things might play out. At this point, it's obvious that Alan is actually his twin brother, Martin. I and our fans will recall that Martin was a dangerous sociopath who went over the balcony edge with Alan during their face-off in France. Although it was believed that Alan survived the fall, Martin is seemingly the twin who emerged from that showdown alive instead. By playing this role of Alan, Martin has deceived Tracy into thinking he's the man of her dreams. However, Martin genuinely seems to have feelings for Tracy and surely doesn't want to let her go. Viewers heard Martin's speech about how he was a better man because of Tracy, so maybe he's convinced himself that he can be worthy of someone like her. Perhaps in Martin's mind, Getting Tracy to fall for him is proof that he's not the monster everyone thought he was. If Martin loses Tracy now, that illusion is going to shatter. Martin seems content to keep playing the part of kind, normal Alan, but he hasn't really changed since he was behind Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers' kidnapping drama. Unfortunately, Martin may kidnap someone else before his storyline is over. Will Tracy become Martin's next abduction victim and end up in an extremely dangerous situation? After Martin spies Tracy with his phone in her hands, there's going to be trouble. Tracy may question Alan about the clinic security breach texts he's been receiving and wonder what's going on. Of course, it's also going to be huge news around Genoa City that Sharon and Phyllis were discovered at Havenhurst Psychiatric Clinic. Tracy may put it together that Alan was behind that scary game and ultimately get him to admit he's actually Martin. That could lead to Martin holding Tracy hostage somewhere next and potentially threatening to kill them both. Martin insisted he couldn't imagine his life without Tracy, so Y&R might go for a till death do us part angle now that he's been making all these grand predictions about their marriage. Tracy might find herself in desperate need of a rescue, so stick with us for updates on all the twists and turns ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Tracy may be the next captive character who has to fight to survive. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, March 14 reveal a very bad man is operating scams in GC. Martin Laurent has been masquerading as his good twin Alan, and this will come back to haunt pure-hearted Tracy Abbott. Fans who thought that Martin may be alive and impersonating Alan, give yourself a shout-out. Meanwhile, Chance Chancellor has a clue, while captives Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman have one last chance. Let's find out what to expect on a fabulous Friday cliffhanger epi Y&R fans. Phyllis and Sharon given one last chance. After cheating death, Sharon and Phyllis are determined to find the hidden camera that the hostage taker is using to spy on them. Why? So that they can disable it and turn the tables on the baddie, with the hope that he will have no recourse except to reveal himself. This is a dicey proposition, however, as the captor wants to be in charge. We know now who is behind the ruse, Martin, and why, to prove he is an evil genius. Phyllis and Sharon in dire straits. Martin is a control freak, and he wants to prove his prowess by getting two sworn enemies to become bosom buddies. Some people play pickleball, some people play mind games. It's easy to imagine Martin retaliating against the ladies, but he clearly has a master plan in mind. Explosive show spoilers hint that Phyllis and Sharon are in grave danger, and their survival depends on fate. Ellen will be forced to intervene after the ladies pull their stunt. If he heads out to the Havenhurst Insane Asylum, will he get caught in a police trap? Is Alan about to be busted? At the same time, Nick Newman and Billy Abbott make their way to the disused clinic to save the heroines. Chance follows and has a clue that could save the hostages and expose Alan. Martin has been living a double life for months. Is his reign of terror about to end in spectacular fashion? We can tell you that this plot has some exciting twists and turns coming up, but spoiler alert, Phyllis and Sharon will be saved. In what fashion and in how good of shape is unknown. Unfortunately, this scenario is not going to end well for poor Tracy, who has been a loser in love before. TBA, we're a little frosted that Tracy is being set up for heartbreak again. At this point, she deserves happiness, and scoundrel Martin should be ashamed of himself. For now, however, Tracy will continue to live in her happy bubble and look forward to a bright future with Alan. Which brings us to ask the question, where is the real Alan? Tell us your thoughts, Y&R fans. The Young and the Restless spoilers. In the hidden corridors of Genoa's glittering facade, a dark web of secrets began to unravel, casting a shadow over the lives of those who believed they were masters of their own fate. At the heart of this emerging storm was a revelation that would shatter the delicate balance of power. A revelation concerning the relationship between Damien and Martin. For years, whispers and half-truths had surrounded the enigmatic figure of Damien. His confident demeanor, his occasional guarded glances, and the peculiar way he referred to Martin had always raised questions among the observant few. Now those questions were coming dangerously close to an answer. It wasn't just any ordinary family drama. It was a secret so explosive that it threatened to engulf everyone involved. Lily, ever the inquisitive spirit with a relentless drive for uncovering the truth, had sensed that something was amiss. The murmurs in the wind, the hushed conversations behind closed doors, and the conspiratorial glances exchanged among the key players all pointed to a single unsettling fact. Genoa was harboring secrets that were not only dangerous but deadly in their potential fallout. One fateful evening, as shadows lengthened and the city's lights flickered against the backdrop of encroaching dusk, Lily found herself in a place where she wasn't meant to be. While wandering near a secluded section of the estate, she inadvertently became a silent witness to a moment that would forever alter the course of events. There, in a dimly lit corridor, she overheard a conversation that left her heart pounding and her mind racing. Damien, whose words were usually measured and composed, referred to Martin not merely as an associate or a friend, but as Dad. The shock of that singular moment was compounded by the unsettling question that immediately followed in Lily's mind. Who, then, was Damien's mother? The answer, as fate would have it, was as incriminating as it was unexpected. Through bits of whispered dialogue and furtive glances, Lily deduced that Amy was the missing piece of this ominous puzzle. It was Amy who, in secret and with a resolute air of determination, played a role in bridging the gap between past and present, forging a connection that defied the norms of family and loyalty. But the revelations didn't stop there. In another clandestine instance, Lily found herself even closer to the very heart of the mystery. Hidden behind an ornate door, she witnessed an emotional embrace, a tight, almost desperate grouping of arms. There, Amy, Damien, and Martin were wrapped in a silent communion, an unspoken pact of solidarity and secrecy. The intensity of that moment made it clear the trio was bound by a secret so profound that they would stop at nothing to protect it. Their unity was a double-edged sword, holding together both the promise of a future and the threat of impending disaster. Martin, whose strategic mind had always been an enigma to many, harbored a plan that was as bold as it was perilous. He envisioned a clean break, a mass exodus from Genoa once their meticulously crafted scheme reached its climax. The plan was simple in its audacity. Leave behind a city that had become a playground of deceit, corruption, and power struggles, and start anew elsewhere, free from the burdens of their secrets. However, this plan was contingent on one critical factor: absolute secrecy. For Martin and his cohorts, the preservation of their hidden truths was non-negotiable. Lily, with her unwavering commitment to transparency and justice, saw the looming threat for what it was. In her eyes, the public had a right to know the dark underbelly of Genoa, to be alerted to the insidious manipulations that had been allowed to flourish unchecked. In her fervor, she vowed that the secret of Damien's lineage, the fact that he called Martin Dad and that Amy was his mother, would not be buried in silence. She believed that by exposing the truth, she could unmask the treachery and safeguard the future of those unsuspecting souls caught in the crossfire. Yet in the midst of her determination, a chilling realization gripped her. The consequences of her potential revelation could be catastrophic. In the ruthless world of Genoa's power players, there was no room for dissent or betrayal. If Damien were to discover that Lily had listened in on their clandestine conversation, the repercussions would be immediate and merciless. The trio's reputation for ruthless retribution was legendary. No enemy, no matter how seemingly insignificant, had ever escaped their wrath. In their eyes, survival was reserved only for those who played by the rules of absolute loyalty and secrecy. And for Lily, the risk of being marked as a traitor was not one she was willing to take lightly. As Lily's inner turmoil grew, so did her resolve. She weighed the moral imperative of unveiling the truth against the palpable danger that such an act entailed. Every fiber of her being screamed for justice, yet she was acutely aware of the precarious balance between right and survival. The thought of Damien's cold, unyielding gaze, or worse, the orchestrated wrath of Martin and Amy, sent shivers down her spine. The stakes were astronomical. One misstep, one moment of hesitation, and her life could be forfeit in a heartbeat. In the intricate tapestry of Genoa's underworld, secrets were the currency of power. Every whisper, every furtive glance, every hidden conversation added another layer to an already complex narrative. The dynamics between Damien, Martin, and Amy were emblematic of a deeper struggle, a battle not just for control, but for the very essence of identity and legacy. Their secret was more than a mere family drama. It was a symbol of the lengths to which people would go to protect their legacies, to shield themselves from the judgment and chaos of the outside world. Martin's vision of a new beginning, free from the labyrinth of deceit in Genoa, was both an escape and a statement. It was an assertion that sometimes the most audacious act of defiance is to break away entirely from a system that thrives on manipulation. However, the success of that plan hinged on their ability to maintain a veil of silence. For every minute detail exposed, for every hint of betrayal, the intricate web of trust they had so painstakingly built would begin to fray. And Lily, with her burning need for truth, was the one threat that loomed larger than any enemy they had ever faced. In the end, Genoa was on the cusp of an upheaval, a reckoning that would force every resident, every conspirator, and every bystander to confront the harsh reality that the city's pristine veneer was nothing more than a facade. Lily's determination to expose the truth was a spark, one that could ignite a revolution of transparency and accountability. But it also risked inciting the wrath of those who believed that some secrets were worth dying for. As the tension in the air grew thicker, a palpable question remained. Would Lily's revelation serve as a catalyst for much-needed change? Or would it unleash a wave of ruthless retribution that left no survivors in its wake? In a world where loyalty was tested by blood and betrayal was a way of life, the answer was uncertain. One thing was clear, however: when secrets as dangerous as these came to light, Genoa would never be the same again. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sharon Newman will put Nick Newman on the spot when it comes to his feelings. So will Nick reject Sharon or admit he wants her back? This will be Nick's moment of truth, so his answer could change everything. Sharon has been through nightmare after nightmare in recent months thanks to Ian Ward Jordan and Martin Laurent aka Alan Laurent. If there was ever a time for Sharon to reevaluate her life, it's now. It's easy to see why Sharon would be more willing to put her heart out there after fearing for her life in 2 kidnapping stories. Sharon knows tomorrow is never promised and understands the importance of saying things while you still can. Plus, Sharon has watched Nick step up for her time and time again. Whenever Sharon needs help, she can always count on Nick to emerge as her knight in shining armor. Following Sharon and Phyllis Summers' rescue from the abandoned psychiatric clinic, Sharon will determine that she can't bottle up her true feelings any longer. In the past, Sharon might have been afraid to rock the boat in her friendship with Nick, but she's moved beyond being scared after all the captivity horror she's faced. Being honest with Nick won't seem so scary compared to what Sharon just went through. That's why Sharon will offer some updates on her feelings for Nick being more than just platonic. Perhaps Sharon will open up about the dream she had on Valentine's Day, as she admits she likes the thought of them being a reunited couple. I&R's preview video for the week of March 17 to 21 shows Sharon pushing Nick to be honest about his feelings as well, but Nick has a rather blank expression that's tough to read. Sharon will quiz Nick about whether he thinks about them getting back together, so will Nick reject her or confess that he wants her back? It seems like this could turn into a major turning point for these exes. Nick might acknowledge that he indeed thinks about a romantic reunion sometimes. However, Nick could also insist that if things didn't work out, he'd hate to lose Sharon as a friend. Sharon and Nick have a deep bond, even if it's not exactly a romantic one. Nick may confess that from his perspective, it's not worth risking that bond for a reunion that might end in disaster. On the other hand, there's a chance that Nick's been struggling to contain his feelings just as much as Sharon has. Nick didn't want to take advantage of Sharon when she was vulnerable, but it's possible he'll admit he'd like more than just friendship. I&R could either close the door on Sharon and Nick's romance for good, or give them a new beginning depending on how this conversation goes. There'll be a lot riding on Nick's answer for Sharon, so stay tuned for any predictions he might make about their future. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sharon and Nick's honest discussion could lead to some big news for the two of them. It's where you want to be for the hottest Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates, so make us your top source. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal Billy Flynn's addition to the cast has just been revealed, sparking curiosity among fans about the nature of his new character. Many are speculating that a storyline involving Victor Newman may already be in the works. Fans may recognize Billy from Days of Our Lives. Flynn is a familiar face among soap opera fans, widely recognized for his portrayal of Chad DeMera on Days of Our Lives, a role he has embraced since 2014. Recently, however, it has been revealed that Flynn will be departing from this beloved soap to embark on a new journey with the Young and the Restless, where he will introduce a fresh character. According to What to Watch, details about Flynn's new role remain scarce, but this hasn't deterred fans from speculating about his character's storyline. There's even some chatter in the publication suggesting that Flynn's character might have ties to Eric Braden's iconic Victor, although it remains uncertain whether they will be allies or adversaries. Who could this mysterious new character be? One theory posits that Flynn's character might actually be a covert operative for Victor. He could serve as the insider Victor needs to dismantle the relationship between Claire Newman and Kyle Abbott, which he disapproves of. However, the soap also seems to be hinting at a budding romance between Claire and Holden Novak. Another intriguing possibility is that Flynn could be the enigmatic Aristotle Dumas. As Victor has previously mentioned, Dumas is the rightful owner of Damien's companies. Speculation has been rife about this mysterious figure, who appears to draw inspiration from the Count of Monte Cristo. Josh Griffith talked to Sode about Billy's migration to the CBS soap. Similar to Flynn's role, fans have speculated whether Dumas might emerge as a business adversary or a romantic interest for the residents of Genoa City. This could suggest that the two are actually the same person. The timing is interesting since both the actor and the character were recently announced as new additions to the soap, although this might also be misleading. Currently on the soap, Michael Baldwin has been assigned by Victor to investigate Dumas. This could lead to Dumas showing up in person, potentially resulting in a showdown with Victor. According to Soap Opera Digest, Josh Griffith, the head writer of The Young and the Restless, expressed excitement about Flynn joining the cast, but also noted Flynn's episodes may not air until next year. Actor Eric Braden is known for playing Victor Newman on The Young and the Restless. With a career spanning decades, Braden has earned various accolades and appeared in various other roles. Thanks to this, fans are wondering just what the actor's net worth is. Eric Braden took on one of his longest-running roles in 1980. Born as Hans-Georg Guttegast on April 3, 1941, Braden grew up in Germany. He later immigrated to the United States as a young adult. Braden got his start in television during his first 2 decades in the United States. Some of his early credits included roles on Combat, 12 Ohms Clock High, and Mission: Impossible. One of his first major roles was playing Captain Hans Dietrich on the Rat Patrol. Following this, he appeared on Hawaii Five-0, The Young Rebels, Mannix, Gunsmoke, Wonder Woman, Kojak, and Chips. However, in 1980, Braden would take on one of his biggest roles. He would play Victor Newman on The Young and the Restless. Notably, the character was originally intended to only last a few months. However, the character proved popular enough that Braden would continue in the role over the decades. Over the years, he has appeared in other shows, such as Murder, She Wrote, The Nanny, and How I Met Your Mother. He also appeared in the 1997 blockbuster film Titanic, playing first-class passenger John Jacob Astor IV. Braden's life has not been without its hardships, however. As previously reported, for example, Braden lost his home in the recent Los Angeles wildfires. As a child, he also survived the sinking of the MV Wilhelm Gustloff while still living in Germany. With his career spanning decades, Braden has also been subject to rumors over whether or not he will retire. The actor notably spoke with TV Insider back in February about playing Victor for so long. The Young and the Restless star recently talked about when he would retire. Braden noted, "I love the show and I love playing the character. He is self-made. He is suspicious. He's tough. He's hard. But he's also vulnerable, and he wants family more than anything because he didn't have it growing up in an orphanage. It's difficult for Victor to trust, and this is all inherent in the groundwork that Bill Bell laid." The actor also suggested he'd stay in the role as long as the soap would have him. As he noted, there were moments, obviously during negotiations, and all that where you say, "Ok, that's it. Bon voyage," and then it always works out. But the actors I used to work with in the 60s on nighttime television and film are either not working or they're gone, passed away. I'm a stubborn son of a bitch. I'm still here. Still, Braden's prolific career has come with a variety of recognitions, such as various Daytime Emmy nominations over the years. His work on The Young and the Restless also won him a Daytime Emmy in 1998. However, Braden's career has also earned him quite the pretty penny. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Braden's net worth is estimated to be around $20 million. That said, his salary is currently unknown. Young and Restless blindsided fans with the reveal that Tracy's fiancé was the sick freak behind Sharon and Phyllis kidnapping, leaving us not only to fear for the beloved Abbott, but also to try and figure out what his motivations could possibly be. As it turns out, the real reason behind the plot might not be what you're thinking at all. Even more unbelievable than Phyllis not returning Daniel's calls right after he agreed to join the team at Abbott Communications was the idea that Sharon would go missing yet again on Young and Restless after all she'd been through. But that's exactly what happened. Both Phyllis and Sharon went MIA, and we soon discovered they were locked up in an abandoned mental facility together. What ensued was nothing short of what you'd expect. Loads of bickering brought to a fever pitch by panic, with fleeting moments of cooperation, not to mention comic relief, thrown in for good measure. They soon learned they were part of an experiment, seemingly to test whether or not they could work through their considerable differences in order to survive. Just as realization was dawning on Sharon that they might not be freed anytime soon, Young and Restless viewers learned who their captor was, and it was a shocker. We came up with a pretty solid theory as to why Alan/Martin targeted Sharon and Phyllis, but we still had to question why the writers would put Sharon through this again, so soon after her ordeal with Ian and Jordan. Phyllis, too, had been through the ringer with Heather's death and nearly being killed in a car wreck. No sooner did they start to get back on their feet than the rug was pulled out from under them. Why? If you've been paying attention to the way this has played out, you may already have a clue. The kidnapping took place immediately after Valentine's Day, which featured Sharon imagining a reconciliation with Nick and Phyllis dreaming of reigniting her old spark with Billy in Paris. When it was revealed that Sharon and Phyllis had both gone missing, the story centered around Daniel, Summer, and Nick, with Chance being pulled in to help investigate their disappearances. It wasn't long, however, before Billy got in on the action. And it's worth noting that he's been like a dog with a bone since he discovered Phyllis might be in danger. He kept calling her burner phone relentlessly. Fast forward to the present, and we have not Daniel and Nick, but Billy and Nick racing to Havenhurst like the proverbial white knights to save the damsels in distress. It stands to reason then that the plot may have been conceived by the writers as a means of reigniting the feelings teased in the Valentine's daydream sequences between Schick and Philly. Still not convinced? There has to be some sort of payoff for the Sharon character after all she's been through. What better than a do-over with the man she's never stopped loving? As for Philly, while that pairing seems less likely given he's still in the honeymoon phase with Sally, Young and Restless teased a Phyllis/Billy/Sally love triangle this year, and with Phyllis and Billy working side by side, it's not a stretch. Phyllis has already been dreaming about Billy, and his protectiveness of her is clearly evident. Should the rescue make him realize there are still feelings there, it's only a matter of time. Be sure to vote for what you want to see happen below. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease insecure Sally Spectra might have 5 words for Billy Abbott after Phyllis Summers' intervention alters the landscape. Could the bond between Billy and Phyllis spark significant insecurities in Sally regarding her own relationship? Sally was already annoyed over Phyllis. Insecure Sally Spectra has a few choice words for Billy Abbott. Her frustration has been brewing ever since Phyllis bombarded Billy with calls during their Paris getaway. While Sally feels for Phyllis and the mess she's found herself in, she can't ignore the concern etched on Billy's face. As he prepares for a daring rescue alongside Nick Newman, it's clear they are the ones poised to save Phyllis and Sharon Newman from their harrowing ordeal. Following this dramatic turn of events, Y and R spoilers hint that Phyllis might cling to Billy even more tightly than before. It wouldn't be shocking if, in a moment of relief and gratitude, Phyllis leaned in for a kiss with Billy. Phyllis and Billy's relationship may get closer. Phyllis and Billy's connection is on the verge of evolving, inevitably raising alarms for Sally. If Billy steps into the role of Phyllis' hero, the two will share a bond unlike any other. As Sally grapples with her insecurities and witnesses Phyllis drawing Billy in tighter, the pressure on her could mount significantly. She might find herself at a crossroads, contemplating a pivotal question that will ultimately define their future. This leads us to the critical moment where Sally may summon the courage to ask Billy a seemingly straightforward, yet profoundly impactful question. Do you want to be with Phyllis again? Billy may deny it, but Sally will be convinced. Billy may try to brush it off, but Sally can't shake the nagging thought that he might prefer being with Phyllis again. This situation could bring out a hint of jealousy in Sally, but it's primarily about shielding her heart from further heartbreak. After all, she endured significant turmoil when Adam Newman betrayed her with Chelsea Lawson, and the last thing she wants is to dive into a similar mess. That's why Sally might insist on Billy being truthful as her concerns about his past with Phyllis grow. The unresolved bond between Billy and Phyllis could pose a serious threat to Sally's peace of mind, so keep an eye out for more developments in this tangled love story. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Tracy Abbott will face a crushing blow once the truth comes out about her new fiancé. Tracy thinks she's going to marry Alan Laurent and live out the rest of their days as a happy couple, but she's in for a rude awakening. It wouldn't make much sense for Alan to suddenly go off his rocker and carry out a double abduction plot, so all the clues point to this actually being Martin Laurent. Of course, we know one twin perished in that balcony tumble back in France. Martin supposedly broke Alan's fall and died in the process, so a corpse was hauled away that night off-screen. Everyone thought it was Alan who survived, but a simple clothing swap would have allowed Martin to step into his brother's shoes once again. It's possible both twins survived if Martin somehow faked his death like Ian Ward is doing now, but the easier explanation is that Alan has been Martin ever since the night of the balcony fall. That fits with Alan's suspicious behavior back in August 2024 when he returned to Genoa City with Tracy and acted like it was his first time entering the Abbott house. Even so, many fans are complaining on social media about the show setting Tracy up for devastation. Now that Tracy has finally found happiness and someone to love, it's about to get ripped away. Is it wrong for Y&R to break Tracy's heart? Is this Alan and Martin swap twist just too cruel? We get that soaps have to bring the drama, but it's still a shame that Tracy has to suffer for this unnecessary captivity story. Was it really worth destroying Tracy's chance at love for a few weeks of Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers as bickering hostages? Beth Maitland and Christopher Cousins are wonderful acting partners who have great on-screen chemistry together. It's a bummer for Y&R to throw that away just for the shock of this Martin reveal. Tracy is about to be distraught and single again, so it just doesn't seem fair. Many viewers would preferred a different storyline altogether if it meant Tracy could keep Alan as her doting true love. On the bright side, we have no doubt that Beth Maitland will deliver a powerful performance once the truth about Martin's exposed. Maitland will have an opportunity to show off her acting skills, so at least something good will come out of all this. Alan has been making predictions about the amazing life he's going to share with Tracy, but she's on the verge of making a discovery that'll change everything. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Tracy will face a flood of tough emotions, so stay tuned for updates on the horrible news that's still to come.